All right, everyone, we are back. Welcome to Street City Studio. I'm John, and today it is still freezing cold outside and snowing. My neighbor had a water main break that has affected our heating situation because of some flooding in the crawl space under the houses around the area because of there's a broken water main or something. Nobody's lived there in over a year or whatever, so nobody's ran the water. I assume it froze and then melted and froze again and what have you, right? So it's pretty cold over here till they get it fixed. We got some space heaters going, so if you can hear that, I tried to muffle it, but there's some space heaters going over there, so if you can hear that, my apologies. But gotta stay warm. It is freezing out with all this snow. But with all this snow, I kind of wanted to keep this warm environment going. It kind of seems a shame to put the beach away with all this snow. Here, let me get out of there for a second. But we're not going to do a beach shot today. I thought we would keep the sand, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a beach, right? I did want to keep a warmer environment, though. What I had in mind, I'll probably change this a little bit here, right? Let me get the sand out of there. Drop in something like this. Before we go too far, I'll explain myself a bit. I'm a big fan of Red Dead Redemption. You guys have probably heard me say I played some Grand Theft Auto. I'm not a big video gamer usually. I used to be as a kid, and if you follow, you probably heard me say it, right? The only games I'm really interested in are Grand Theft Auto and maybe a handful of games otherwise. But games these days, they just don't interest me very much. Even Grand Theft Auto, right? I might play a couple days and then I'll put it down for a couple months again, just because it's too tedious. It's not fun for me. It's not, right? All the grinding and all the griefing, right? Either you get good and become the griefer, or you don't try very hard and get griefed, right? That just seems to be the way. So anyways, I've been playing some Red Dead Redemption, looking for something a little more mellow. But I was always a big fan of Red Dead Revolver when it first came out. I was still real big into video games back then. And so with Red Dead in mind, I figure we'll go for a Western kind of sand this time, right? Maybe some sort of a cowboy shootout. Because like I said, I've been playing a little bit of Red Dead Online. And man, that is a gorgeous game. It's just all the scenery and the animals and the waterfalls and the rivers. Man, I could just go for a walk. Just go for nature walks in that game. But it's better than Grand Theft Auto. I don't want to say it's on the same level as Grand Theft Auto, but it is still pretty easy to get overwhelmed with some grief in that game, right? You just try to go to the gunsmith and clean your guns or buy more ammo for your guns on there. Get shot in the back of the head or something, right? Just trying to get a drink at the bar. Somebody throws some dynamite at you or something, right? But it's good fun. It's all in good fun. It's definitely a lot more mellow than GTA Online. But like I said, my thought was that maybe I'll grab a little cowboy hat here. Right? Seen this one before. I like this hat. Right? I don't know that it's necessarily exactly what I would wear in real life, but it looks good enough on this figure. Oh, I'm looking at the screen instead of my hands. Yeah. But I also got, right, this very old flintlock style kind of black powder gun. Looks very westerny, right? And so I thought I'd have a little shootout here with some cowfolk, some cowboys, right? And so these are my cowboys today, just because they had the right hats, I guess. The right frontiersman attitude, I guess, right? But so I'll probably just use some of these boxes and crates I always use, right? Maybe some of these barrels. I was thinking maybe I'll have I can't think of a good name for him. The Duke. We'll call him the Duke. Because my name's John Wayne. John Wayne, right? John Wayne. You get it. So, the Duke here is going to probably do some duck and cover. Let me get this gun in his hand. It's a little big for his hand, I think. But it's not going to be there too long, and his hands aren't very hard plastic. They're a very flexible kind of plastic. Rubber. Oh, there goes his head. Trying to play with this gun, knocked his head off. So, but the idea is that I'm going to maybe duck behind some cover, right? In a little shootout with these guys. Or that's the idea, right? And so I'll probably have myself a little closer to the camera, and I should keep in mind that I don't need any sand behind the cover, right? All this sand back here, I can kind of push that way once I know where my cover is going to block, right? But I can just start dropping some boxes in, right? See how they do for me. Right, this one's kind of short, I think, so maybe I can do something about that. Right, I want the tallest cover I can get here, because he's not going to be able to crouch very low, right? And I'm not sure which leg is going to look best in which position, so we might play with it a little bit, right? Do I want his knee into the boxes, or the other knee into the ground there? Right. And I think I'll go with the knee against the boxes. He can have flat foot, and then the other foot can go. Right. And so I'm gonna want him looking over, right, like that. And just try and make sure, once I get him in there, try and make sure it looks natural, right? That don't look bad, but his head could be a little better, right? Maybe, yeah, there we go. Maybe something like that. Pull it in a little so we can see his hand better. And maybe get his foot flat. That's not as flat as I'd like. See, I still feel like... I feel like my cover is too short. I don't like how short that cover is. Maybe I'll double up on this box here. And then I can start putting these barrels behind that, right? And they're not even going to be very visible, but just to look like they're blocking, right? And now, like I said, these guys, rolling tembo, cowboy tembo. Get this double barrel elephant rifle in his hand here. And now these guys I'm not gonna be super worried about, as long as I can get them in a natural looking advancing position. Right? These guys, because they're probably not gonna be, I don't want to say not in focus, but they might not be, right? They might be a little blurry off in the distance in the background. Right, but I kind of just want them as props. I'm not too worried about them as a main focus. I just want them to look like they're advancing with guns in their hands. They don't even have to look like they're aiming at him necessarily. As long as they look like they're advancing on him, or, focusing towards him in that way. I'm gonna get this gun in his hand here too. Right. And just because his gun's up so well, I might look at it a little bit more before I say it's well. But I might not have hit what's his name's gun up in the ready position. Right, like he's just a few moments behind Roland there. Try and get his arms in the right position now. That's all. Feel like oh, there he goes, because I moved the sand on him. Let me move him for a second. I feel like he's gonna be the one off in the distance a little more. If I can get Roland kind of up front and center, that'd be cool. Even though it's not Roland up front and center, you know what I mean. Yeah, something like that, right? And now I gotta worry about his hair, his lighting on his face and stuff. Move this one though. I was thinking about dropping this frying pan from this Jurassic Park kitchen set in here somewhere, just because, oh no, I'm hitting people. Just because it has that Western campfire vibe, right? It's a nice little prop I don't use often enough. Seemed like an appropriate enough place for it, right? Some of the sand I can, man, they're not staying up in the sand. It seems like they're up, but then the sand will shift under their feet or whatever. Yep, I'm Butterfingers today, that's for sure. Get them feet planted again. Likewise for Roland. Let's see. Yeah, and now I kind of want to try and fix, right, some of these light spots I don't like. I could do a couple different things, but I only have so many options here. Pull that one back out. This one here can go. This one's too close. There we go. Let's see. I'm not loving that yet. I really gotta work on better lighting. No. None of that's working good at all. There's too many shadows and too much reflection on this paper. This isn't going well at all. This paper doesn't want to stay up like it usually does. Yeah, this ain't working out. Let's see. Well, that light might be taken care of, but this paper still don't want to stand. Hey, there we go. That's almost it. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't like some of these shadows, but it kind of would have some shadows, I'm sure, right? It's not always going to have the most perfect lighting on just his face, right? Especially if the sun's overhead. Kind of want to see more of them rolling hills, but likewise, it is what it is. Kind of want to put this frying pan in my hand too. Maybe he's going to use it. Maybe he's going to throw it. Use it as a shield. Deflect some gunfire or something. Who knows? Who knows what I was thinking in the middle of that gunfight? I was just trying to stay alive. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? How about... I gotta zoom. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, like right there. And now I still got some reflections. Ooh, some of these hot light reflections I thought I had taken care of, but there. Yeah, somewhere in there. Somewhere in that range, right? I wish it was a little more saturated. It seems washed out. Maybe this light's not, let's try an oranger light, a warmer light. Maybe that's it. I usually tend to use the cooler light settings. But there's definitely a time and a place, right? How does that look? Yeah, see, I think that makes it pop a little better. It's not as washed out in white. And it probably should be a little warmer like that, right? Because the sand would reflect in that kind of tone, right? Oh, right in there somewhere. I'm getting too much blue over here from my backdrop piece. I thought I was helping myself with that backdrop blue being in there still, but I don't love it right there. It's not helping right there. Let me see. I'm going to take it out. So I'll have to play with this backdrop again. So forgive me. Get out of there. Put this one back in. And maybe now we won't get that blue popping out over here. Is the hope, right? get it framed how I want it. Like right there. And then get my light back overhead again. I like that right there, I think. Oh no, you know what? I'm seeing that hot spot creep back in when I moved everything. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I think that's right about where I wanted it. Cowboy John having his little shootout. Let me switch arms here. I do though, I think that's exactly what I was looking for. Even that pan in his hand helps it come together, I think, right? It all helps. Oh, that's a fun looking one. I like this one. That is much funner than getting griefed online. I gotta say. Let's play with these lights again. Find maybe a middle ground here. But, as always, I appreciate you guys coming by, checking out my toys, my little cowboy shootout, little spaghetti western, right? If you guys want to check me out on Facebook, you can follow me on Facebook at John Wayna, Wayna. Just do me a favor and follow the toy John Wayna. My dad is also John Wayna, and he's not a toy enthusiast, so he won't be super thrilled to be talking about toys with you guys, but he is super friendly. But I wouldn't bother him with no toy junk. I think I probably do that enough, right? But if you guys want to check out my photography, the results that usually come from these videos, go over to Instagram and check me out on Instagram at Street City Toys. It's Street City Toys, not Street City Studio like the channel here. But if you don't want to bother remembering it, that's fine. There's probably a link in the description there of most or all of my videos. You can just click on the link and take you right over there to my Instagram, Street City Toys. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. You keep playing with them toys, and I'll talk to you again real soon.